and thanks for joining me today to talk a little bit about the library. My name is Rachel Lundy, and I'm a Special Collections and Reference Librarian here at Missouri Western. You can see my contact info on the page as well as contact info for general reference. So if you have any questions or need any help, we're always happy to help you out. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I'm going to go to the Missouri Western homepage. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom here, there's a link for the library, so we're going to go ahead and click on that. That's the easiest way I've found to get to the library. Another option is you can just tack library onto the end of the missouriwestern.edu. A couple different ways. So one of the first tools that I want to show you is something called library guides. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And these are guides that our librarians have put together for specific disciplines. We also have some that are informational library guides, but this is always a really nice start if you're studying in a certain subject area or discipline. So let's say you're wanting to search nursing, so you're doing a research in the field of nursing. Scroll down here. We see nursing right there. Go ahead and click on that. And you can see we have a few different guides for nursing. So I'll just go ahead and click on one to show you. And you'll see it has links for how to find articles, books, basically our resources that pertain to the nursing field. So it's a really nice place to start if you're doing research for a certain subject area. But we're going to go ahead and go back out to the home page. And I want to show you our library databases. So these are basically like search engines that help find academic sources. So you can find our databases by hovering over online resources here. And as you can see, we have a list of a few of our more popular databases. Academic Search Complete is probably our most popular database. It's a multidisciplinary database. But we're going to go ahead and just click on databases here. And what that's going to do is give us a list of every database that we subscribe to. So as you can see, we subscribe to 75 different databases right now. And this list is an alphabetical A to Z list. But the nice thing about this is if you go up here and click on this drop down, you'll see that you can narrow this down by subject. So we're going to go ahead and click on nursing. And you'll see this is going to give us databases that help us search that particular field. So I'm going to go ahead and click on CINAHL because that's one of the most popular databases for nursing and allied health. So we're going to go ahead and open that one up. Now I do want to note that if you're on campus, it's going to go straight to this page. But if you're using this off campus, it's going to pop up with a login page. And the login that you're going to enter is actually just your gold link username and password. So same credentials for both. So we're going to go ahead and start with just a basic search, and then I kind of want to show you how you can focus and narrow that down. So we're just going to search for sleep disorders. And as you can see, that gives us about 17,000 results, which is way, way too many. So this is telling us this is way too broad of a topic, and we're going to need to do some work to narrow this down. The first thing I want to do, though, is show you an item record, because sometimes that can give you some clues into how to narrow down your search. So we'll just go ahead and click on the first one here. So one of the first things you notice is your search terms are in bold here and also right here. Something else you'll notice are your author names. So a lot of times with academic work, there are multiple authors. That's not uncommon at all. And the next thing that you're going to notice is this is from a journal. So this is an academic resource, a scholarly source. And basically what that means is it was written by an expert on the topic. So if your instructor says that you need something that's peer reviewed, that means it's going to be from an academic journal. And just to give you an idea, peer reviewed means that the article was reviewed by experts in that author's field. And so that kind of helps to ensure accurate information is being published. Now you're also going to notice here affiliation. So that's just going to give you a little bit about where the authors are from, their institution, and kind of give you a little more information about their credentials. So as you can see, all of this information is going to be really important for you when you're putting together your references for the research project that you're working on. So the next thing you're going to see are subject terms. So these are going to give you an idea of maybe ways that you can narrow down your search or find some terms that are related to your search terms to try to find the most relevant information that you can find about your topic. And probably the most important thing that you're going to find on this page, you're going to find the abstract. And what that is that is a summary of the article. So you always want to read this abstract before you read the entire article, because this is a good way to know if this article meets your needs, if it pertains to the subject that you're researching. So always read that abstract first. So you'll notice this article in particular says check for access options. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. So what that means is that Missouri Western doesn't have immediate access to that article. So what we have to do is order that from our Interlibrary Loan department. So you've got a link right here where you can click request article. And when you're logging in here, you're going to put your name first and last. And then this is very different from any of the other logins that you use on campus. This is the login for your library account. So your unique campus ID is going to be your G number with capital MW at the end. So let's say your G number is G12345. Your unique campus ID is going to be G12345, capital M, capital W. So once you enter your campus ID, you'll hit submit, and that's going to autofill the information from that article. And you can submit that, and our Interlibrary Loan department will email that to you when it's ready. So we're going to go ahead and go back to our search results here. So we're going to scroll down, and let's say, well, I don't have time to wait for an Interlibrary Loan article. I need it now. The nice thing is we have some limiters on this left-hand side here. And one of them is limit to linked full text. So if you click on that, that's going to narrow down only to articles that you have immediate access to. So now that we have clicked that, we're going to open this article, and you'll see over here PDF full text, and what that means is you can open a PDF of the full article. So we also have a couple tools over here that are very helpful. First, we have the print button, but we also have a link to where you can email this record to yourself. I would recommend always, always, always emailing articles to yourself. That way you know you can always get back to it if you need to. Another really great tool is the cite tool right here. So if you click on that, that's going to generate a citation for you, and it has pretty much any of the styles that you would use here. But one thing I do want to note about these citations is they're not always 100% correct. It's just the computer generating from the metadata that's provided. So there could be typos, there could be formatting issues, so on and so forth. So always check this. This is a really good starting point, but always, always, always check it after the fact. Check it before you turn it into your instructor. We're going to go ahead and go back to the results list, and you'll see that full text took us down to about 7,000 results, which is still way, 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 way too many results, right? So we're going to do an advanced search. So I'm going to click here. And this is going to let you search additional search terms. Now we've got a few different options here. We've got and, so that'll let you search sleep disorders and another term to narrow that down. We also have or, so let's say, for example, you wanted articles pertaining to sleep disorders or insomnia, because it could be referred to in both ways. You could use that or. And you also have the not, which isn't used nearly as common, but it can help exclude terms from your search. But I'm going to go ahead and use and we're just going to add an additional keyword. So I'm going to do sleep disorders in women and see if we can't narrow that down a little bit. All right, so you can see we're down to 1,600, still a lot, but we're moving in the right direction. But I want to show you a few other limiters that you can use here. So let's say you only want articles that have been published in the last 10 years because you want relevant current material, right? So let's narrow it down by date. Something else we could narrow it down to is, let's say we want to narrow it down to evidence-based practice articles. We can select that right here under special interest. So some other additional limiters, we've got geographic, we have language, but I'm just going to do those two right now. And let's go ahead and hit search. And we're down to 34, so that's a lot more manageable, right? Now you'll see here this says academic journal, but you're also sometimes going to see right here it'll say periodical, not academic journal. So what that means is it's a magazine article. So the main difference between those two is an academic journal article is written by an expert, so someone who is very knowledgeable in that field. A magazine article was most likely written by a journalist who researched that specific topic, but isn't necessarily an expert in that field. And generally, magazine articles are going to be a little more relatable, written a little bit more in layman's terms. So if your assignment specifies that you have to use scholarly resources, you aren't going to want to use those periodicals. And you can limit that by using the limiters that we talked about over here. So now that we've talked a little bit about databases, gotten a little bit of a crash course on databases, I want to go over another tool that the library has that's really helpful. So I'm going to go to the library homepage, and I'm going to scroll down. So this is a tool called Library Access that the library recently subscribed to. And this is a browser extension that helps point you to full text resources when you're searching the open web. So you'll download this browser extension and you can install it in Chrome, Firefox, Safari. It's available for all major browsers. And what this does is it helps point you toward full text resources when you're searching the open web so that you don't hit paywalls, so that you're not paying for something that you have access to for free through the library. So it's a really good tool and I recommend that you install that. So the next thing I want to talk about is our library catalog. So we talked a little bit about finding articles. So now I want to talk about finding books. So a good way to think of it is databases is how you find articles. Library catalog is how you find books. And that's a little oversimplified, but it's a good way to think about it. So I'm going to go ahead and hover over library catalog here. And if you see this first selection and click on that, that's going to take you to Missouri Western's library catalog and it's going to search Missouri Western's holdings. So I'm going to go ahead and use our earlier keywords, our earlier search terms. And as you can see, we have our results here. And you'll see right here it says the most relevant titles are the entries 1 through 12. So these are the most relevant to sleep disorders. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this first option. Now, if you see right here, you'll see this icon. This is actually an ebook. So this isn't a physical book. So this book you could access 24/7 from the library's website. So to access that, you're going to click on this link, Missouri Western, click to access. And you're going to see the PDF full text link that you saw earlier, right? Looks familiar. And that's going to open that full book for you. And you'll see here too, you have table of contents. So you can skip back and forth to different parts of this book. And you can also download the book. I will say with a lot of ebooks, the publisher limits the amount of pages that you can download or print. Like for example here, the limit is 100 pages. So it's not always going to let you download or print the entire book. But if you're just needing a certain chapter, you can download that specific chapter. You can also download different page ranges. So if you just needed pages 1 through 60, you could just download or print pages 1 through 60. So we're going to go ahead and hit back. And you're also going to see some familiar tools that we saw earlier with the databases. So here you can email the record. You've got your citation, which is similar to what we saw earlier with the databases. But we are going to go back to our catalog search results here. Now you'll see right here, this icon looks a little different, right? So that's streaming video. So again, that's something that you can access at any time, off campus, on campus. You don't have to actually access the physical material in the library. And to access that, you're going to click the link here. And that's going to take you to our Films on Demand database. And Films on Demand is a database that has a wide variety of documentaries that you can access. So, and this also has citation tool. So whether you're using MLA, Chicago, APA. So we're going to go back again, and I'm going to keep scrolling down. And now here is a book. So this is a physical book that's located in the library. So we're going to go ahead and open that record. And you'll notice how the search terms are bold when you were searching the database. They're going to be in red in the library catalog. So these will be the terms that you use to search. And you'll see here you've got your call number. This is going to tell you the status, and right now this title is available. If this title was checked out, it would have a date right there showing you when that particular title is due back in the library, but this one is available. So something else we offer is curbside pickup. So if you click here, so here you're going to enter your library account information that we talked about earlier when we were looking at databases. And it's the same thing, it's your G number with that capital MW at the end. And you'll see you've got curbside pickup selected here. So you'll hit submit, and once we have that filled, you'll receive an email saying that it's ready to be picked up. And you can either come to the circulation desk to pick that up, or you can call us and we can bring it out to you. But let's say that you searched our library catalog and you're just not finding anything you think is going to work for your research project. Let's go ahead and head back to the library website. So once we're back on the library homepage, if you hover here, you're going to see something called MOBIUS. And this is a consortium of libraries all over Missouri and surrounding states that you can search this catalog and have materials sent to Missouri Western. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at MOBIUS. Now, one thing I will note is you are going to have eBooks that show up in this results list, and a lot of times those are licensed by other libraries and not actually available for Missouri Western students. So what I would suggest is check marking book right here, and that's going to give you a list of physical books that you can request. So let's take a look at this first one. This one looks interesting. So the first thing you want to do is you want to scroll down and you want to make sure that there is a library that has this available. So you'll see that right there. So it looks like one of the libraries in this consortium does have this book available to borrow. So you'll go ahead and click on Request It here, and you're going to use the drop down to select Missouri Western. And you'll hit Submit, and you're going to see this looks familiar again, right? So this is your library account information. And you'll see your pickup library is Missouri Western, pickup location. Now, if you are a distance education student and there is another library in the consortium that is closer to you, you can pick this up at other libraries. So you could select a different library, but I'm going to go ahead and just select Missouri Western for now. And you'll just hit the Submit button. And once we receive the book, you'll receive an email saying that it's ready to be picked up. Generally, these we say to allow 3 to 5 days. Depends on the library it's coming from. As you can see right now, there are some delays, so it might take a little bit longer than that. But generally, you can count on 3 to 5 days. All right, and I want to show you one final way to search for resources on the library website. So we're going to go ahead and head back to the homepage again. And this is something called Search Discover, and there are a couple different places on our website that you can find it. So we've got a link right here, and then we also have a search box right here. So I'm going to just use this search box. And as you can see here, you've got video, you've got books, you have eBooks, you have academic journals. What this tool does is it searches across all our holdings, catalog, and databases. So this can be really helpful if you don't quite know where to start, or let's say you know the title of the article you need, but you aren't sure where to find it. You can enter that title by using this drop down. So you can search by keyword, title, or author. So this is a really helpful tool if you're doing research, but the number of results can be really overwhelming. So keep that in mind, because see, for example, here you see 315,000 results. It can give you an overwhelming amount of information. Now I want to head back to the library homepage just to show you one other thing. I just want to show you some other ways that you can get in touch with librarians. So we are available for virtual chat. This is our chat box. You can just type a message here and a librarian will answer you. And you'll see right here whether we're available or not. And we do sometimes offer chat even when the building is closed. So if we're available virtually, you'll always be able to see here. Another thing we offer is Book a Librarian, which is this Meet with a Librarian link right here. So this page will tell you a little bit more about Book a Librarian. So if you're having trouble with a topic, if you're having trouble finding keywords, if you're stuck, anything like that, you can do a Book a Librarian session and we can have a little bit more of a one-on-one lengthy conversation about your project. So you'll just fill out the form and a librarian will get in contact with you to set up a time. And we offer those via Zoom and Google Hangouts even. I want to say thank you for joining me. Hopefully you learned some things. If you have additional questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. And thank you and have a wonderful day.